Lori, can you call the roll, please?
Ferrari,
Here.
Iacolo,
Here.
Crowley here, Fitzgerald.
Here.
Close.
Here.
Stillman. Jennings. She's here.
Jennings, she's here.
Here. I got Judy went to.
Microphone in here.
No, it's up in the ceiling. Is that it? Okay. All right, the minutes for the January 9th meeting have been sent out. Is there any changes? Hearing none, they're approved as submitted. My chair's report. My only report is not really a report, but I was expecting there would be some resident forum today, member forums, but I would imagine if there were any, they've gone over to the other location and probably said, well.
I did leave a note on the door.
I know you did, yeah, that's good. So we'll see what happens, but that's all that I have. Correspondence and announcements, there are none. Member forums, I don't see any hands raised. I think that's correct, there are none. All right, we'll move on to Mr. Bentley.
Okay, not a whole bunch to report on. The bridge project and the liner is still on the books to be done, but it's we'll be probably talking about more of that when we get into the fall, because both of those will be projects that will be done later on in the year. And if we get to the liner, that'll be done in the winter time when it'll take less impact on the golf course. But as we get more information about that, we'll let you know. The pickleball courts, they got I won't say they finished the water line. They got the whole water line underground, but there is some electrical connections and stuff like that for the running of the mechanics of it that have to be done yet. And they're starting to work on the pad, doing some compacting and stuff like that. There still is a lot of equipment being moving around there. The fence line is gonna be where it's at, but it's gonna be pushed back and forth depending on where equipment is needed and where it's gonna be put, just like we've said is gonna happen for between now and June. We're still on schedule for June. And so that's the date that it's gonna be done. I guess just more to come on that as it goes along. That's about
So
all.
what does it mean when the fence is gonna be pushed back and forth? I mean, if we open the 18th green, if you move the fence back and we open the 18th green, then you're gonna move it back again? And then we close the green, open the green, close the green?
I don't think we're gonna move the green back and forth. That would be, I think the green it could be where it's at until the fence can be, until the building gets to a point that we may not need that anymore. You know, that's down the line. The building will probably be up fairly well before anything's done, you know, before that is permitted on there. You're gonna be blocking the camera.
Okay.
So when we were told that when the alignment was done, the fence would be moved back to where it originally was, that's not the case.
No, I didn't say that. It's gonna be moving around.
Back and forth. It could be moved back and forth depending on.
Could move back out again too, depending on the type of equipment they need. So if you think about it, the building, when they start going to do the foundation on the golf side of it, that's gonna be the biggest foundation done because it has to hold a retaining wall that's a sound wall that's gonna be put up. So there'll be a lot of digging. I don't know what that equipment looks like. When it digs, that side has to have a much larger foundation be put in. So the green was moved up to where it was at. If you remember in one of our other conversations we had here, It was moved up because and with the fence being far off behind the bunker that was there, it still bothered the people playing, just having the fence up. So they said, if it's a real bother, we're gonna move the green up so we don't have to worry about the fence. Now, it shouldn't really matter. If they will move the fence out of the way, that doesn't mean that the 18th green is gonna open.
Why?
Because we still have the fence there and the fence bothered the people in the
No,
beginning.
no, I disagree with you there.
Well, it was what was brought up at the meeting. We discussed it.
That was, okay, a couple people were bothered by the fence. That's
Correct.
too bad because there's rules in golf that allow for that. And if the fence can be moved back and the 18th green open, we can play as normal. As it is right now, we're playing with 17 holes. You have a tournament, you can't play the 18th hole as a par 5 on a temporary green. I mean, it just doesn't happen. And what's happening is people just play 17 holes and they say, all right, we'll write down the score for 18 and go home. And we have guests coming in April. Are we going to have the guests play 17 holes? How are we going to play? You know, this is a problem for the golf community, or at least for the people who play on the dollar.
I understand what you're saying. I do not have an answer of where it will be set up at that time and I don't have an idea of where the fence will be at that time. You know, we're dealing with nature, we're dealing with everything else, and we're trying to do, if we can move it back, we will. As far as the green being moved, that's not gonna be my decision because I don't know what the condition of the green is. That would be more of a decision for Mark on how he would open that up, not for me. But if, you know, there's pros and cons on that green being moved back and forth. And there, where the green is now, I can tell you this, it's improved my game of golf. And here's the reason why. When people golf down there, and this is me too, and with the groups of people I golf with there, they always go for the fairway down the side. And I did too, when I had to shoot to the green, the original green, because that was my lineup for the next shot to get down there, and I'd be trying to get on within 3 or 4. Where the green is now, it has made it, because I look at each fairway, every fairway changes every time you play because they move your tee boxes where you're gonna hit off of, you know, the little, when you play whites, blues, reds, they move around a little bit. So I look at it differently every time on every single hole I play. I am now, when I go to that green and I'm hitting for the whites, I'm aiming right for the flag, which means, you know, the giant oak tree there, which I never thought I could do before. I am now going over the oak tree. I always played the fairway because I never thought I could do that. But now that I see the hole that's there, my thought pattern is I'm on in 2. And that's what I try and do now, is I try to get on in 2.
Well, it's a
So
par
it's
5.
improved
How do you
my play on that hole.
score it? How do you score that for posting purposes? You give yourself an
He
eagle?
already told you what you, no. I do, I mentally, I've gotten not an eagle, but I've got birdies on that. But I've birdied that hole, I've parred that hole on the original green, and I've got bogeys on the hole.
So we're only talking about, the fence was moved, what, 15 feet?
I think it's about 15.
Hmm? About 15?
Because it was on the,
15 feet
Other side of the
further
bunker.
out, right? And so you're saying that you can't move it 15 feet back?
Well, if
We're
we,
not gonna run heavy equipment way all over the place.
I don't know where whatever they're gonna use to dig it up, I don't know is it gonna be on the pad when they dig it, or is it gonna be on the outside of the golf course?
I mean, has anybody, who is this gentleman here? Johnny?
I'm John Dwyer. I just wanted to sit in.
Yeah.
Here.
yeah, he wasn't a resident forum person, I asked, so just a resident.
can anybody talk to the contractor and say, hey, could we move the fence
Right.
back 15
Okay.
feet?
So what we've been doing through the whole project is, and they're very aware of this, is what they're trying to do is to mitigate the impact to the golf course. Right now is most impactful, right? So you're experiencing that. And it's because they haven't finished the communication lines on that trench because of the rain. So
What do
once
they-
that's
what do you
done,
mean?
they should move it back again. Might it move out again? And this is what I was trying to say at the last meeting, that the request for a specific and a defined, this is happening on this date, we can't give you that. Weather has made it very difficult to do that. But every time they do something with fencing, they understand they're on a live golf course and they're trying to mitigate that. By April, if we still have this open trench, we've got a problem. So that's not gonna, right? So.
Yeah, the fact is, I mean, Dan and I have talked a little bit, but the impact, I think we all can agree, is much larger than we assumed at the very beginning. That, there's no question about it. We are now coming to a point where we're going to impact play in 2026. We have contracts for outside terms that start in April. They're assuming we have an 18-hole golf course. And Ted, I'm sorry, but we don't have a green on 18. We have a temporary surface, but we do not have a green we're hitting to. There will be a problem with those tournaments. There will be a problem with those tournaments. There'll be problems with the men's club and women's club. I've already heard about it, because this impact is much larger than at any point we assumed it was going to be. We didn't know it was going to go into the 2026 season. I don't think anybody did. So the fact is, we as a group, or us as staff, we need to do our best to come up with a solution that'll mitigate the impact on 2026, whatever it might be. And that might mean the contractor and I, where can we get a foothold that we can get some part of the golf course back there, because it is a problem getting into the season. So we'll have to work on that.
And those conversations have been ongoing, so.
I have a question. Did you want to? I just haven't.
I'm blown away.
I haven't been able to play lately, so I'm not familiar with what's going on with the actual play on the 18th hole. But because of that fence, you can still play to the left of the fairway like you were talking about, right? No matter where that fence is, whether it's out a little bit or what, and still use that green. Can we, give guidance or something to the group to tell everybody to move towards the left? And then if they get caught up on a fence, move the ball as the rules allow?
Fence is on the green.
Jackie and I were out there yesterday, and we both agreed that the hole is not playable to the original green at this time. It blocks half the green.
Right.
There's just no way I would have people playing that golf hole when you can't see half the green because the fence comes out into the fairway. It's not, if it was moved, if it could be moved, because it would be safe to do it, 30, 40 feet, that's what it would need to be. Back to the bunker, basically, the fairway bunker. If it was somewhere near the fairway bunker, you could open it up. I'd put in temporary out of bounds.
Right.
You can't do that right now. It's just too impactful. People would be losing golf balls by the dozens. And then and because the fence is so in play. If we get to the point where we can move the fence back, I think it's legitimately possible, but we can't do it until
Get the fence back.
we have a clear sign from the contractor that it's okay to do it. Am I correct, Dan?
Mhm.
So there we are.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It seems to me that we're forgetting one thing, and that is, we are the owners. Contractor works for us. The fact that we're letting the contractor run things and control it is wrong. If we need the golf course, 18th green, back open again, we need to sit with the contractor and discuss that with him on how that could happen to be able to allow him to complete his work in a timely manner, as well as allow us to continue play on the 18th green. Right now, we're just sitting back, as I'm hearing, and I could be wrong, all I'm hearing here is that, well, the contractor needs it. Okay, great, but so do we. We have another club here now with pickleball that's impacting a fellow club, a sister club. That's wrong. It shouldn't be. We need to get back, put this thing in perspective, we need to get back to basics, get the contractor in with our group or whomever you want to meet with, and let's talk about how we can get us working together. We can't just keep coming here every month and hearing, well, maybe, or not, or it is, or it won't, and the date is, and the date isn't. This has been going on since October. So please, I'm not trying to point fingers, I'm just trying to say we should be able to get back to basics and discuss this thing like it is in the business world. I mean, I've done it all of my life. We have a problem, when it comes to you, the owner says, I got a problem, you can't do this. We work around that problem. Hopefully it doesn't cause a change order. Maybe it will. Should have been anticipated in the beginning. Maybe it wasn't, maybe it was. All this needs to be ironed out. And now's the time to do it because April is coming fast. And I don't believe it's going to happen by April. I mean, I've had a conversation to this effect and saying this whole project is going to go on even longer than anybody thinks. And it's not because of weather. The weather is an impact, but it's not because of weather. It's because how things go here in Rossmore. I'm sorry to say. It goes on forever and ever and ever. So let's get back down to that, please. If I can just make that proposal, let's get us together with the contractor. Get this thing ironed out.
So is there a problem with getting together with the contractor? Has somebody
Yes.
done that? Have you explained to him
That
what
is my role.
impact this is having?
That is my role. They're doing everything they can to minimize it. And they legally are responsible for that site. So anything that happens there, it's on them. So we have to give them the ability to create the safe parameters. Because if something happens because they were coerced, forced, whatever, that becomes highly problematic. You're talking about tournaments starting in April. We have to let this project play out. And again, because everybody has opinions, we need to let this project play out. It's really that simple.
Hey, Mark, do you have contracts for the outside groups to play on the course?
Yes.
And what's the impact on those contracts if you don't have 18 holes?
I haven't really gone to them and, we haven't crossed that bridge with any of them yet.
So that's a possibility. And if there's a negative impact because of that, then the contractor needs to eat it since they're in control of the green in the fairway, in the course. You said they're in control of that property and they need to eat the results. If Mark has problems with it.
GRF authorized it, so basically we would eat the cost. If there's a cost, we would eat the cost.
Who would?
Your RWC.
Why
We
did the
entered
contract-
into a contract.
You claim the contractors.
Because you're assuming failure of performance and that's not happening. That people disagree, you can disagree, but we have to stop the impugning, the penalizing. Upset's okay, but we're trying to assign blame and fault.
Well, listen.
We're saying weather's not an excuse, it's actually is a very legitimate reason things are getting changed. So I will continue to work with the contractor, but at this point, we're kind of just beating a dead horse.
Well, there's an impact here, financial impact that I don't think Rossmore and I don't think the golf club needs to absorb. Because we're talking about a fence and we're talking about just timing of moving that fence. And this project has gone on. And one of the things you said earlier is they're in charge of that property because they make the decisions and we don't, even though we own it. If they're in charge of that property, then they're going to be in charge of eating the results of whatever's going on. And they should be. And just to sit there and say, well, Rossmore eats it, I don't think that's true. I don't think that's legally liable for Rossmore to eat that if they're claiming they're in charge of that property. So it needs to be worked out. That's just all I can say about it.
Well, I hope we read about this in the paper and the fact that the golf community, at least the people who play on the 18th hole, are upset. And we don't, I just don't think, I don't understand why, I mean, why can't we get the contractor or somebody who's talking to the contractor?
Because
We're
I
talking-
am, and what happens is I relay this and you just want a different answer. And so it's easy for me to say, wait, and, wait, because April's a long time off, and that's kind of the problem. So we're kind of in this loop of frustration, which I'm really sensitive to, but we are, like, this is a good group, and they know they know that the disruption is a real thing to the residents. And they're doing everything they can as they're looking at the phasing, they're anticipating like the timing based on stuff, but we can't give you that timeline because we're not in a safe time zone yet with weather. This last storm that moved in created another little bit of a delay, which again is built into the overall timeline. But we can't give you these precise things, which I know was an issue like last meeting, right? Like you want to know. The fence will be there in some way, shape, or form in April. Hopefully it'll be hugging closely to the pad and should be doing, the building should be getting erected. But they're asking for specificity of things at this time of the year is frustrating because we made sure you had a clean tournament season last year and delayed the start of the project. We knew we were going to try to get a lot of work done during the winter season, so we would minimally disrupt whatever happened this year. So there's really no good time to do the construction in this location because there was going to be some disruption on some level. So it's just, there's no good response because the result of any of that is your play is getting disrupted.
And what's the problem with your asking the contractor to complete the work that's interfering as it is right now on the 18th green, move the fence back by April? Okay, and if it has to be moved temporarily back for whatever reason for a short period of time, we can do that with prior notice. That we would like that fence back as far back as he needs to be able to complete his work. I mean, at least lay it out to
No,
him.
but Pat, that's already a given. The issue.
I don't think, well,
it's
you tell
already-
me it's a given, but I'm hearing things otherwise that the contractor's in charge. And that's not a given anymore. That means he's
All right.
taking care of it.
This isn't even a conversation anymore. So we'll just keep reporting the way we've been reporting.
All right, I don't know.
I'm sorry for laughing. I mean, it's okay.
All right,
We are a useless committee. We have no.
yeah, I mean,
We have no voice.
All right, let's move on to the club reports. Marcia, for the 18ers.
We had a lunch party yesterday, which, for all the members who wanted to come, it interested the board. And we also sent out a roster of all the members, which is not on the website. So it just goes to each of the members. It's been sent out. We have 120 members, 10 new, 7 sponsored, and orientation on January 21st for all new members, which went through how to register for everything on the website and anything that they needed to do and rules. We also had a demonstration on on hole 15, what was the rule and how we play it. Because there's still a lot of conversation and where do we drop it and et cetera. So it was a great demonstration.
On the hillside.
On the hillside, on 15. So we had it was a great slide slow with a lot of people coming. We also have an invitational in June, which is the theme is Meet Me in Palm Springs. The question that I have, that I would like to address, and if possible to whoever is in charge, to remove the mulch, I guess it's mulch, on hole 11 from the golf course. As you go down hole 11, there's a huge tree. They have put all the mulch from that tree over to the edge of the cart path, which is a line of sight for a lot of people hitting a golf ball. and it's still in play. The out of bounds is way over by the tennis courts. And all this mulch is stacked up. People hit into it, lost ball, or delayed it.
Oh, okay, so you're asking for the pile to be removed, not that it's not mulch,
Well,
but there's a
whatever it is.
pile of it there.
Whatever it is, sorry.
distribute it.
Okay,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just,
fine.
it's just from the tree, it's way over, and a lot of people hit right into that, and it's still in play. If it could be moved to the other side of the tree, would be great.
We'll look at that when the time comes,
Okay.
absolutely, yeah.
Whenever-
Sometimes when I've had a pile there, I've just marked it as ground into
Okay,
repair.
well, we,
Because it's an offload site, because that's where they can dump it, and then we take it from there to different areas on 10, 11, 12.
But it could be moved to the other, but
Okay.
would just be helpful for a lot of people,
I'll make a note, we can look at that.
and that's it.
All right, thank you, Judy, for the Niners.
Okay, well, I for one am glad we don't play on 18-hole course.
Aren't you glad?
So the Niners have 147 active members right now. I'm sure there will be more, but because we had a greater number last year, 3 social members. Play day starts March 3rd with our tournament play, and everything else is going just fine.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, did I say much?
Matt?
Thank you.
The RMGC membership for February is at 259 total, which includes 3 golf shop employees and 20 resident guest members. Big jump from last time. We've hosted the First Tee's annual fundraiser at the Event Center on February 6th with great success, attended by over 275 First Tee devotees, including 8 members from the RMGC board. Those big round of thanks for us regarding that. The men's club is also hosting an all clubs fun and games evening at the Event Center on March 9th, in which we will thank Mark Heptic for his many years of devoted service to golf in Rossmore. The men's club's full year of golf events will begin with a 4-man scramble on March 4th, and our player series of tournaments will begin on March 11th, followed by a 4-man best ball game on the 18th and a 2-man Chapman on March 25th. And after popular demand, we will institute tournament play on the Creekside course beginning in April with a 4-man scramble. And then finally, just continue with our conversation there. The frustration continues over the loss of the 18th green on the Dollar Ranch course, especially since our scheduled events will begin shortly. We have not heard of when the waterline relocation required by the construction of the new pickleball building will be completed and the protection fencing be located away from the green. That's all.
All right, Kurt?
Thank you. We have currently 99 members, 13 of which are new members and new players. We're going to begin our season March 21st with our first scramble, followed by a social. And we have decided to start a new program with Happy Hackers to help Wayne or Zach, who is ever making the groupings. We're now going to require new members to golf one time with some volunteers we have within the club to make one round. And we'll give the golf shop an evaluation of that person. So when it comes time to make the groupings, they have a better idea where that person can be grouped. Because new people, you know, Wayne has no way of knowing where they're at. So people who are really, you know, brand new golfers can be, you know, strategically placed, but we'll have a better idea through this. And so right now we have 3 volunteers, and they've contacted the 13 new people, and they're gonna go out on a round with them before they are able to sign up for scrambles. So I think it's a good way of getting to know people, so we're looking forward to trying that and seeing how it works. And I do have kind of both a question and a comment. Again, I'm you know what, I'm gonna approach some individuals before I make this comment. So,
Okay.
That'll be it for me.
All right. Thank you. All right, Mark?
Morning, everybody. Hopefully you have your reports in front of you. Sorry, but with Mexico in there, I didn't get the reports done until Wednesday, so I'm bringing them with me. Don't have any January numbers. Accounting did not have it done, so I can't really share with you, except my general feeling is we had a pretty good month in January. It was pretty dry most of the month. I think the numbers I had showed a good amount of play. And we were good in the golf shop as far as lessons and merchandise sales. And we're off to a good start in this month. I do know that last February, we did about 3,500 rounds. And we're at a little over 2,700 right now for this month. So we're a little under, but if this will stop, this rain, and we can get another week of play, we should be very close to what we did in 2025. So we'll hope for that. Much of January and really the winter is spent getting ready for the season ahead. We had meetings about tournaments, both in-house and outside events that are coming up, setting up of demo days, which we've already had one. We had TaylorMade out. We also are placing a lot of orders. And the director of golf and head professional have been working a lot together on those things moving forward since I will be retiring soon. So we've been doing a lot of that. And lucky for Jackie, she's also been involved in a lot of GAC and board meetings now and coming to those. So she has a good feel for those meetings also. The position of assistant PGA professional is being advertised on the PGA website. Our hope is to get a qualified candidate. We're asking for 2 to 3 years experience. Right now, we've had a couple of applicants, I could say, not quite yet, huh?
Right.
We're still looking. So we have extended the date and hoping we can do interviews at some point if we find someone who can take that position. We would hope they might be in place by the end of March at this point, if we're lucky. And I'll report the annual Mexico trip and some of the people are right around this table. Good to see that you were able to make it. We had a good time, 184 participants enjoying Puerto Vallarta. And for those who didn't go, I'll just tell you it was sunshiny and about 84, 85 degrees, just to take in. So it was good. Jackie, you have anything you wanted to add to that? Any questions about the golf management report? I'll go on to superintendent, but any questions there? Not a lot this time of year. Superintendent's report, a very dry January allowed us to catch up on mowing. If everybody goes back to the end of January there, the grass was starting to get pretty crazy, because we had those big storms move in. It was like, because when you get to that time of year and you're not able to cut, if you get continuous storms, it can be a real problem. You see the grass in the fairways 5-6 inches long sometimes, you just can't get there. But we got our break, probably too long of a break, but we did get the golf course, I think, in tremendous shape through this. So it's been in wonderful shape for this time of year especially. We spent a great deal of time raising sprinklers. I think I mentioned that last meeting that we started at the 18th green and went backwards, did the green sides first. We're now doing fairways. And that continues to go on. That's going to really help us as we get farther into the season and we see the results of that work because the sprinklers will work correctly. And that's excellent work done by the crew. We're in the process of installing mulch in areas surrounding trees and doing a lot of that work, which you see around the tees also. Still continue to do a lot of dangerous tree limbs and getting those out of the way from the tree contractor. It was, don't know if everybody saw that, but with everything going on a few weeks ago, we also had a gate valve, which is a very important part of the sprinkler system on the main line, blew up. It was right behind the second green as you go to the third. So if you saw a hole there for a while, that's exactly what that was. We were very lucky because that line goes underneath the street and feeds holes 3 through 6. And at first, we thought it might be a problem under the street, which would have been really disastrous because we'd be digging up the street. Fortunately, the gate valve was in that area. We were able to get a contractor in, fix it. And that's just part of the failures that happen sometime in a system. But actually, it was a good time of year for it to happen, quite frankly. So got it fixed, and we'll be ready for the season. Any questions about the golf course?
No. Okay, Argo, how are things with the marshals?
We're still here. And some of our folks are very happy that it's been raining because then they don't have to marshal. Because the course is closed. I don't have a full report now. We are having a meeting, our first meeting, Monday, because the season is starting. And we have some issues that I'm sure we'll be reporting on at the next time.
Great, thank you very much.
Margo, how many marshals do we now have? I've heard some
A total of 7 of us.
Okay, there's no unfinished business that I'm aware of. So the next meeting will be March 13th, 9 a.m. in the club room at Creekside, and we are adjourned. Thank you.